okay, we left the people hanging last week, and I am absolutely going to talk about what I wanted to talk about last week. But really quick, I just wanted to start today off with a realization that I had that feels absolutely embarrassing, like, I don't know, almost a decade into this of like using cameras or however long it's been, probably longer than that.
So curious.
So I wear glasses, right?
Okay.
And I talk to a camera with a screen like shooting right in my face. And there's always bad reflections, right?
Okay.
I never put a polarizer on my lens. And I don't know, like, used it for car shots, used it outside, used it all the time. And I never thought, you know what, why don't I ever just like put that on my fucking glasses shot?
You know what though, dude? Like, I don't think
it's
I really...
not perfect, but it looks so much better.
I'm so curious to see now because it hasn't bothered me. Like, I haven't noticed that, but I'm sure you have over the years of over the videos.
Yeah.
To be like,
yeah.
My God, there's a reflection. I'm so curious to see when I get the file.
It just looks like it still is there, but for some reason it just all looks a little bit crispier, I think. Again, we'll see what you think, but I filmed a bunch of videos, I think yesterday night, which I don't think I'm going to use any of them because I don't like how they turned out, but I used this technique and I was like, well, they look real nice. I hate what I talked about, but they look good.
Nice. And was this scripted content?
No, which is why I think it's not getting used.
We're learning to script our content, folks.
We are learning. We are learning. I feel like we talked about it, and then I was like, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to see if I can do it, and I didn't like either.
There's a middle ground of like nice
reacting to your changes, and I was like, I feel like I can do this better, and I want to do this better because it deserves it. So. We'll see.
I mean, that's a whole other thing. We don't have to talk about that at this moment because we've got more pressing things to talk about right now.
We do. I want to hit that at the end. If we have time, we should hit that. I don't know if this topic will take too long because I want
to hear what you have to say.
You're going to hate me, and I kind of hate myself. I don't know. I'm like there's a lot of thoughts here around just like I've been releasing a lot of videos lately.
Yeah, you have.
And I've been cutting all of them in Final Cut.
Yeah, you have.
And I've been sitting down and talking to camera. And
you have.
You look at those check boxes and you would just be like, wow, Jake's about to burn out again. And like, I don't feel that way at all.
That's great.
It is great. And I, again, being the analytically minded person that I am in a lot of situations, I'm just like, what is going on here? Why is this working? Why is this working for me? Right. And I do think that a big part of it is exactly what I talked about in the video today, which is just that like sitting down at the desk content in Final Cut is so frictionless, dude, and so easy. Like
a talking head. Like I would say like that's interchangeable with a talking head, I would say.
Yes.
And if you haven't seen Jake's video, he's basically talking about like this is taking out the gaps, right? Is that what you're talking about? Like the speed
taking out the gaps and multicamming with a screen capture, and I've kind of been mixing in a second camera angle lately too.
Okay. And the speed of at which Final Cut can handle all of those things, I don't want to say hotkeys, but just like there's little things like the secondary playhead and stuff that Jake talks about that like just don't exist elsewhere. And if you learn those things, that you just get really speedy at them.
Well, yeah, okay. And this is also another thing I wanted to talk about. It feels a little bit like a tangent, but I think it's relevant because in this video, again, I'm out stirring the pot with my Final Cut Resolve boys, which I love to do. As someone who, again, loves them both. They're both awesome.
Dude, I never get into your like I'll never fight you on it. Dude, I'll never fight you on it. Like
no, and I mean, I know you won't, but like what I was going to say is a lot of people still do, like all the time.
And I love that.
And I think I think what's funny is that like a lot of people still are trying to make, and again, it's like, I don't know if I'm saying what I'm trying to say correctly, because a lot of people are still fighting me on, oh, but Jake, if you're more comfortable in Avid or Premiere or Resolve, you're faster. And it's like, I hear what you're saying and I know what you're talking about. Like for the whole edit or the whole experience, if you are more experienced in DaVinci Resolve, yes, you are going to be faster. Like, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. If you know where everything is,
can I cut you off?
The layouts.
Like,
yes.
I agree with 100% with where you're going, just to give you like that extra little bit of validity. And the thing that pushed me over the edge was the second, like really understanding the secondary playhead. Because I'm just like, come on, it's not that much faster. But then I'm just like, oh, you know what?
No,
QWE is fast, but not that fast. And it's I think for the people that are like fighting you on it, you're not so much talking about keystrokes, you're talking about more on the analytical side of just like, no, like my line of sight and my hand are synced. I'm not looking at different things to then click around
and it's less clicks.
Yeah.
Like that's the point I keep trying to make is like, for the most basic thing that we spend hours doing, sure, all of the fluffy stuff, yes, depending on what you're doing, Resolve wipes the floor. And I've made that point 1,000 times. But like the thing you spend all the time doing, the thing that sucks away hours of your life, again, depending on how complicated your video is, it is fundamentally faster. Like it, and again, that was the point I was trying to make in the first video. I don't think I said it super well in today's, and maybe I need to like really try to hone this in with like another one, but it's just like, I'm literally thinking about like when I am looking at the clip, how much do my eyes have to move? How much does my hand have to move? And how many keystrokes am I hitting? Yeah. And when I like think about every way I can try to speed that up and Resolve, there's no way that cutting gaps in an A-roll section of video can be done in less moves than Final Cut Pro. And it's not like I'm better. It's just like I'm literally counting steps, you know, which is the nerdiest shit.
I feel like it's steps. I feel like it's steps because you can ripple delete a clip with 2 clicks or 2 keystrokes, or I guess like.
Yeah. But the mouse I'm counting the mouse too. The mouse matters.
Okay.
Because again, I don't have with the secondary playhead, you don't have to click, and you don't have to look up, right? It's just I'm just moving it.
Yeah, I'm coming off of just editing an hour-long interview for Maddie's new video, so I cut out a lot of dead space. So I'm just like, yeah, like two, yeah, like. But it's not if you include the mouse. It's actually would be 3.
Would be 3. No, but it's more because also, again.
Oh, you're looking
and again,
up.
Maybe you got to look up. That takes me out. It's small, but it takes me out that every time I got to look up, look down, look up, look down, look up. In Final Cut, I am just like, brum, 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 brum. I mean, I'm hardly even like thinking about it. You know?
Man. We haven't got into the weeds in a while and like this, but like, yeah, no, I agree with you. One of the things that I'll say is like, I make my timeline in any NLE that I'm in, I make it 3/4 of my screen. Like when I was in Premiere, pretty much the whole thing is a timeline, and I make my viewer so small because I don't really give a shit about that. Especially when I'm doing like the step that we're talking about right now is cutting A-roll. Because I'm like, I just want to be looking at the waveforms in the video. Yeah. I don't really care. Like my eyes are closed. Sometimes my eyes are actually closed and I'm just radio editing to be like, yep, that sounds good. Yep, that sounds good. And just moving on. Like
totally. Yeah.
So I don't know, like that's the only saving grace that that I'm just like, well, my eyes aren't like totally like.
Yeah.
But no, it's there. And I do that. Yeah. I have to do that because of the problem that you're saying. And it's not really a problem, but it's just like, because I don't want to look up, I'm just like, well, the whole screen is now my timeline. So I can like kind of minimize that movement
Right.
as best I can.
Totally. But you're still having to click and drag
Totally.
the playhead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, you don't have to do that in Final Cut, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And again, I make this point every time. Like, I think Apple has this patented, which, as people have told me before, I've never confirmed or looked this up. But
I'm looking it up right now.
Resolve could add this. And like, I can't even begin to tell you how many videos. I don't even know what I would make. It would be just the dumbest, shittiest video of me just like being like so excited. And I don't even know, like, I would maybe like bake a fucking cake or something. Like, I mean, I would be dancing into the sunset if Resolve added a secondary playhead in just the dorkiest dad way you've ever seen, because I would lose my mind. And I think you could get me back. Like, I think that being said, okay, this still also kind of we've really gone off on a tangent here, but like it's all relevant. But like, I tried to do one of those videos yesterday in Resolve because I was thinking, so this was for your motion transition stuff, which again, well, if we get to it, we get to it, which would be great. I did want the intro to be scripted with just a VO and of course like using your shit to show what's possible. And so I was doing that in Resolve because obviously I have to. I've got to show using the shit. But then I was like, well, I'm here. Like, let's make a compound clip. Let's kind of just like, let's see if I'm still just blowing smoke up my own ass. And I was like doing all the stuff. And I was like, yep, still kind of more painful to make cuts. And like, oh, let's see. Okay, I do want to do my interrupting J cut here. So I got to drop the audio down. That's a bunch of extra clicks. And then I got to slide it over. And like, okay, that's kind of ugly. And then, oh, wait, I want to do it again. So do I put this audio track above this one? Or do I do a third audio track below? Like, how ugly do I want to make this as I'm going, And like, it immediately I was just like, yeah, this is just not as good of a tool. And that's fine. Like, it is what it is. But
that is crazy. Yeah. I do agree with you on all this stuff. Like, it's just a fact.
You've used Final Cut, right? Like, you've used it.
I've used it, and the thing that separates it, I think, and this is super biased, but like, it's just, for me personally, my thoughts would be collaboration and I want to say like professionalism, and I use that very loosely.
No, I agree.
Because like, I know that there's been tons of things that have been cut on Final Cut Pro. It's just like those two things in tandem. Like, yeah, you're not seeing as many like narrative things or commercials or like corporate projects being cut in Final Cut Pro. That said, it's the fastest editor, and I could agree to that. And I think if you're like a single creator or a small studio, Final Cut Pro would be 100% the way to go.
Yeah.
Dude, I looked it up also.
Yeah.
This is the Google like AI overview thing that's out, but Apple has patented multiple features for Final Cut Pro that relates to playheads, including a storyboard with dynamic trimming and magnetic timeline. So obviously magnetic timeline's patented.
Fuck those guys, dude.
Dude, but like the cut
That's
pages,
crazy.
I wonder that's why the cut page is the way it is. It's because it's just like, well, we can't.
Yeah, it's like we can kind of get there, but we kind of can't.
Okay, but check this out.
Oh.
Final Cut Pro also has a playhead.
CapCut has it. So China and CapCut are just like, yeah, fuck you, Apple. We don't care.
Okay, dude. Check this part out, though. Final Cut Pro also has a playhead and a skimmer tool for previewing and playing back media. So the playhead, they wouldn't be able to patent a playhead.
Dude, who knows, right? Like, maybe they did this like a decade ago when no one knew what the hell that meant.
So, like, I'm looking at it here, and it's called a skimmer. Allows you to preview clips affecting the playhead position, and appears as a red vertical line.
That's the secondary playhead. Yeah.
So I think it might be patented, man. In 2010.
Okay, I might have to make a video about this. This is crazy. That is, I mean, so like people commented that before, and I just never looked it up. But
it's called dynamic trimming. That's what we're looking for.
Dude,
Wait.
fuck them. Fuck them. That makes me so mad.
Does Resolve have a dynamic trim mode? I gotta look into this.
What would that be? I guess I'm not totally sure. I don't think so.
Because it has 2 modes. I usually just like kick it in A. I feel like we're getting too in the weeds.
Dude, we're deep. We are deep, which, I mean, come on.
As soon as we're starting to talk about like keystrokes, I wonder how many people are just like, cool, yeah, this is cool. We're talking about keystrokes again.
Yeah. No, bro. Yeah. I don't know. I'm with you. I mean, select tool.
Yeah.
I want to use, but here's the thing. Okay, this is, oh man, let's just keep going. Cause like the blade tool skims like the
it does.
secondary playhead.
Yeah.
But you can't, like you can make the cut, you can skim. I love that. But then to delete the gap, I have to go back to select mode, which is another keystroke.
Yeah, I don't even use it. I just use QWE. I've mapped.
Yeah.
It's just the way that ripple, delete, append, all that shit.
Yep.
Okay, what else were you going to say about the like desk stuff though?
Well, yeah. So like, I guess, I mean, it's not like fully baked, this thought process, but like all of that. So we just talked about like how much I love cutting A-roll in Final Cut, and I've been doing that.
Right.
And it just kind of feels like there's something there in terms of like my ability to sit down, lose script, talk to camera, talk about something editing or maybe something not. And like I'm pumping out videos, right? Whereas like, I don't know. If I was doing this in DaVinci, I might be losing steam on 90% of these. Whereas because I can do it so fast, I'm almost wondering if I'm reaching completion faster than I'm getting tired of the projects, and therefore they're getting out the door.
Ooh, I like love that concept just in general, regardless of like what it is. Because I really think that is the run. Because you've probably seen that meme that's like you start a project and you're excited, and then you're in the middle of the project and you're like, this sucks, and you're like near the end of the project and you're like, this is shit, and then you finish it, you're like, that was great.
Yeah, totally.
It's just trying to like speed run that, and if you can like reach the end before you have those other thoughts of just like, I don't want to do this, then you're like, great, look at that, I did the thing.
Yeah. I'm through. I'm through the cut. Okay, maybe I'll add a few effects. You know what? I hit a few effects already. Like, let's just ship it. Let's on to the next one. Like, which again, I think like if you look at my past few weeks of videos, the production quality is so much worse than maybe a video from a few months ago. But I mean, I don't know. Is that right? Is that wrong? Doesn't matter.
Subjective.
I don't know. I mean, in the world I'm in right now, like I just need to like keep the train moving, because if it stops, I'm at a phase of life where like it's just real hard to get back on. So it's almost like I'm just embracing it. It's like, yeah, I might watch these back at the end of the year and be like, those were fine. Those weren't nearly as good as these other ones, but like, I don't know. I kept swinging it bat, Yeah.
That's all that, honestly, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Like, what doesn't burn you out, and just do that.
Yeah, totally. Because I think if I was really trying to go like full Jake tilt on these, like I don't know if they'd be getting done or they would just take forever.
What is full Jake tilt? Like I think that's also subject to change due to the terms and conditions. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess in my mind, like I do have a remarkable amount of fun, like, fully scripted VO. And then like, I mean, kind of like we talked about last week, tons of graphics, tons of stupid PNGs, text, like kind of obnoxious editing, honestly.
Like that brings you joy.
Viewer. That brings me joy. Yeah. I love that. Right. But it takes forever. It takes so fucking long.
Even with Easy Ease?
Well, we could talk about, Easy Ease. Well, what about Motion Tween? Motion Tween also helps a lot.
It does help a lot, but like I think Easy Ease is like pretty freaking sick in Final Cut.
It is sick, yeah.
So that must help
easy.
a lot.
It's so easy. It does help. It totally helps. yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to.
Because
Maybe I
I
need
think
to make another one like that. But
I have these not existential crises, but along those lines of just like, okay, well, what if my videos don't have any of the graphics and titles and whatever? Like, and I almost try to like rebrand them every once in a while to be like, okay, what if I started from scratch right now? What would I want it to look like? And like, is that just a talking head and like really simple, plain, easy to digest, like all the things and like very minimal graphics? So I think it's like, I don't know, like I'm just kind of like capitalizing on your point here to be like, I think it's kind of okay if you just like go that direction and you're just like, maybe it makes you take another turn somewhere else to be like, oh, you know what? This is like a new style that I want to pursue. And it's like I don't know. Like, I don't know where that could take
What is
it.
your answer to that question right now? Like today, if I hit the emergency brake, how are you starting again?
I mean, I still would do this thing. Like, do I still get to do desk setups? Like, is that the...
Well, whatever. Yeah. Like, I mean, like what you just said, like where is your head at with that question? Like, would you do less graphics? Would you do more graphics? Would you script more, script less?
I mean,
just
I
do
would
the
definitely
podcast with Jake only.
Yeah. I would love to just like strictly do a podcast, but like, I mean, you know what I want really realistically. I want to do a weekly podcast that's a live stream. It's like,
dude, we'll get there. I love your obsession with that.
and I wouldn't even have a YouTube channel. It would just be that. But I think like ultimately, I would script more, and like I think I would crawl my way back to graphics because that's something that brings me joy. You know, just that little break in the video that we're like, okay, we're going to section 2 now, and I get to like spend way too long designing one title, and then like I just chop the rest of it because I feel like going through A-roll, you're like, okay, that was fun, but it was fast and. Like, give me something fun, you know? I think that's why we gravitate to be like, okay, well, what if I put a little graphic here? What if I did a little something like here? And like, you know, that kind of stuff.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I think like, honestly, like maybe the dream would be like to somehow be as good as Zach or Nakey Jakey at like old Zach. Do you remember old Zach? Like the shit he used to do in his edits?
I would love to watch.
He doesn't do it
now.
as much anymore, and I don't blame him because it had to have been a ton of work. But that dude used to crisp his stuff up to like.
I think his personality kind of like just takes over now to just carry the funniness. But yeah, they were like, he's just funny, and it comes across in his editing as well, and his personality plus his editing style is just like the perfect storm.
Oh, that is when I like fell in love with him. We're talking about Zach Mayfield. Let the record show.
Yeah, dude. That dude isn't afraid to do anything on camera.
Oh, not afraid to do anything on camera, and then like to accent it to 3,000% with some kind of effect or audio effect, or like if he's ripping a fart, it's like not just a fart. It's like a distorted, echoed, like bubble warp on his like ass effect. Like the dude like has no fear to just like be like, oh, that was kind of funny, but like how far can we take it?
Yeah. I remember when we started working for Matt, it was like, it was still kind of in that era, and he was just like, do I do the things that I think I should do? And I was just like, I think you should, dude. Like, I think we should try. And like Matt vetoed a lot of them. Like like obviously just the tonal of the video, but a few times like Zach got some stuff in there that was fucking hilarious.
He slipped in a few winners. Oh man. Hey, you miss every shot you don't take. That's so amazing. It'd be funny to like go back and watch Matt's videos in that era and try to like sniff them out and be like, hey, do you remember if this was one? And you'd probably be like, oh yeah, dude, that one was like one of 6 that made it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So what's on the docket this week? Are all the videos posted that you've been doing, or are they like in the edit bay?
I think I'm caught up. There's one that had no graphics, 2-angle talking heads, and I think I might redo it because I'm a little bit like hesitant with the title and the tone, which is like I'm totally kind of going for clickbait on it, but it's I haven't totally locked in what I want to call it, but the premise is
Spit it out.
have a kid.
Oh shit.
You'll be a better creator. And like essentially it's just the story of like how basically having no time like forced me to like become good with time management, right? Which I mean, it's not a novel concept, but just like, hey, here was speak my truth, my story with this. And
Totally.
you know, if this is something and someone needs to hear, great. And I think that like, yeah, I just want to like really make sure that like the whole have a kid is like really obvious that I'm joking, right? Like, you know, and I might redo it just to make sure that that's really clear. Because I'll watch back, I was like, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, but like you never know with these people on the internet. Like I want to make sure that it's really obvious that I'm definitely tongue-in-cheek in the shit out of this. But
dude, you should start off with a sketch that's just like 5 a.m. wake up, 5:02 take care of son, 5:03 try to edit, 5:04 take care of son.
Take care of son. That's actually a great idea.
6 o'clock make breakfast, like, and then it's like you're constant, or like maybe there's no editing at all except for like a few minutes in the sketch, but like, or maybe you're like trying to do it through the whole day or like through the whole sketch and you just can't actually, you've got like 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there. Or maybe it makes more sense to have it like at the very end to be like, and then at the end of all this, I get 1 minute.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Holy shit, I think I might steal that.
That'd be funny. Yeah, I feel like you could make something like that funny. Or like lighthearted at least.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you've got my brain spinning and we need to keep chatting. But like, no, I think that's an amazing idea. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go back to the drawing board on that one. But
I think you could just add it in off top.
That's the last one. Maybe. I don't know. I think I want to redo the messaging too. Like we'll see. I'll watch it again and see if like, okay, if I really hit the joke at the beginning, does that make the rest of this feel a little bit better?
Yeah.
I'll watch it. But I think that's the only other one that's in the chamber or in the magazine. Yours with the motion tween stuff was in the chamber, but I don't know. I didn't like it, and I'm probably going to redo it.
I wonder if I should update it again.
What are you? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about motion tween. Like what? So, Spencer, you guys are here. Spencer makes plugins. I'm sure you know about. What are they titled on Creative Herd?
It's motion transitions is just like this thing that is like this ever evolving entity, it seems, that I keep coming back to like keep updating, but it's just like, it's just for bringing graphics, but it's just become so much more.
It's like my like, oh, what's the metaphor here or simile? Like, I mean, it's like my Zion or like my like Holy Land or like it's the thing that I just have like that I keep wanting and resolve, and like we're like so close but like not quite there, of just like having effortless, beautiful, easy graphic assist stuff without having to open up Fusion, basically.
I will say
what we're doing.
This week I was
what you're doing, and I'm just asking for constantly.
Yeah, but dude, honestly, it wouldn't exist without you. Like, truthfully.
Okay, I'll take some credit.
But this week I had the moment of I was in After Effects, and I was basically like bringing all these elements, and I was bringing them together to like into one thing for a shitty description. But I was just like, you know what would be faster than making all these fucking keyframes in After Effects? Motion tween. I'm just going to do this in Resolve. And I left it and I did it in Resolve and it worked out. And I literally didn't have to set any keyframes because I just used the auto anim. And so I just offset all the all the like starting points of the things, so they all came into the screen. I just had to position them, and that was it. Like,
which I need to play with the auto anim more, because I do think that is the piece that I'm thinking won't work, and I don't know why. Like, I think I need to play with it more, because I think it just feels like it's too restrictive, but I honestly think it's actually doing exactly what I would want.
It's handy for really quick stuff. The thing that I'm realizing about the tool is that you actually have to, it's not something that you can kind of work out in real time, which is the downfall. Like, you need to already have it figured out what you want and then be like, okay, here's how I'm going to use it, which is like, sure.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But like something like for me, the thing I can't figure out right now is like the quick flip. So there is a button to like flip the keyframes. And for an auto animation, flipping the keyframes would be amazing. But
it would.
Because it's always starting from frame 0, it's always starting from the beginning of the clip. So if you cut it and then flip it, nothing will happen because you're now starting at like frame whatever, 50, 100, wherever you cut it. Like, you need to option click and duplicate it down there and then hit it. And I was like, well, that doesn't, I don't know what part of the code, I don't know what part of the code that like that is that would to fix it. I bet Jake Whip would know.
Jake Whip would know. Alex might even know, or maybe even Patrick would know how to do that.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
we've got some boys that we can reach out to potentially.
Yeah, dude, there's like one like hour-long live stream that was from like ResolveCon. That's like Jake Whip going through like a bunch of expressions and stuff. And I'm just like, it's like my holy grail of like what I've been building off stuff. Like, he just like casually just drops stuff that I'm just like, holy shit. That's a very nice tidbit. So yeah, if you guys are at all curious about like fusion expressions, definitely go check that out.
Yeah. And I don't think we did a great job of explaining this, but yeah, this is a new effect that you have built on top of the motion transitions, which are already out.
Yeah.
So if you already bought it, which you should have, because we've talked about this before.
Yeah, it's all bundled.
The transitions are amazing. It's all bundled. You'll get the update, and this is an effect, not a transition.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird, but it's all the same thing. It's all the same goal of what is trying to be made there. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody commented on the video that I released and was just like, $20. This is exactly what I want, but I don't think it's worth that. And I was like, Mom, I've made it.
You've made it. You've made it. Dude, that's so good.
I was just like,
$20.
I've always felt this way. And for once, I'm like, too bad, man. I'm like, dude, lifetime updates. Like, a month ago, this tool didn't even exist. I feel like
a month ago, it was pretty like mediocre too. And now it's like really sweet. Like, you keep making it better.
Yeah, dude, I'm like looking back at like when I first released the motion transitions, like these are leaps and bounds better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for $20, it's a complete steal, in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, again, like, you and I do a lot of stuff that this fits perfectly for. So maybe if someone's not doing it, like, sure. But like, why are you even considering buying it?
Yeah, totally.
That's the case.
Totally. So I would love to add one more category so that there's, or I guess there's 3 right now. I would love to add one more like additional thing, because we have like a pop, we have a push, and then we have like a fall. And I would love to add something that's like expanded in a different manner. I have no idea. That's why I haven't made it yet.
No idea. You just want another one. Okay.
Maybe like a tilt or like a I don't know. I feel like they would all be iterations of like pop, push, or fall, you know? Like, I can't really think of something that's slightly different than that, of how to get something in.
No, I'm with you. That's why I was asking, because I was like, I don't know what this 4th one would be, but I'm intrigued.
When I need it, I guess I'll know, but I haven't needed anything different. Yeah. So, yeah, really stoked on that so far. I'm redoing right now my entire like when I first switched to Resolve, I made a title pack, and so I've gone back and I've remade every single one with all the knowledge that I know now, and
Hell yeah.
it works so much better. It's so much cleaner. I've added a bunch more titles, and I'm just like, it's crazy, like the difference from like when I started to now.
Yeah. Which one's that one called? I need to go check that one out.
It's just like DaVinci Resolve text pack. Like it's the only text thing that I've made.
Okay. Sick.
But
Sick.
yeah, I can send you it if you ever come back to Resolve.
I know. It's not. Yeah. I will come back. There's no doubt in my mind. Like it's never a closed door with me. It's that toxic relationship we've talked about. Like it's just not able to keep up with like my attention span right now.
Yeah,
So.
fair. Are you watching anything right now or no? Like you don't have time for that?
Like shows or like YouTube?
YouTube, yeah.
What did I watch this week that I loved?
I got something to add to your watch later. Everybody's watch later. Or watch right now.
Oh, I need to watch Jake's video.
Dude,
is that the one?
You need to watch Jake's video.
Okay.
It's really good.
That one actually was like, I think, because it came out this morning, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Or yesterday.
So
or
I think we talked about this. So I made a new playlist called Must Watch, which is a category above Watch Later.
Wow. Right.
So like I have like certain people that like when I see the video, I'm like, okay, this for sure is going in that category because I always check that playlist like before bed kind of is when I'm watching ish, depending on how I think that might impact sleep. And that one for sure, I was like, I know like Jake's not gonna not deliver, and I'm so intrigued by the title and thumbnail.
Yeah.
So
yeah, super great thumbnail. Jake Frew is just he's on another level right now, man. He is on a different planet. His storytelling in this video is super good. So if you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. And it's definitely something, I mean, circling back to this whole like desk thing. I mean, in the video though, he sits at a desk and talks. But it's like it's just part of the story. Like he's narrating it, but with a bunch of like stuff. I don't want to ruin it for you, but like it's obviously like basically
that's his style.
Yeah,
he does that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't know what like the resistance around that part of it is. You know what? You know what? This is one really stupid quick thought. Is like
hit me.
I've had this feeling of just like. Okay, you know how Peter McKinnon is set up? Like his camera is this way, so he's facing like he's just on his desk.
Yes.
I think there's something about a side camera that fucks me up.
That could totally be true. I don't think that that's a weird thought. I don't think it's a weird thought at all.
But then if you're this way, like just logistically, it doesn't make sense.
No, it really doesn't. I mean, that's kind of what I have going on here, except for it feels way too tall. So like, I don't love that aspect, but I've actually thought about that before for it's like, I should take a table and flip it so that like I could do what I do just on my laptop so that it's like nice and low and have the camera be in the front. And that might go really well, except for then you're kind of looking down. But I don't know. It might still look all right.
I think a slight 45, like exactly what you're saying, but like I don't know, maybe 30 degrees. I love how we're in the weeds.
Dude, this is the weeds episode. We like, and under every topic, cinematography, editing, we're going.
Yeah, there's something about it, or I don't know. Like, I think it's just about the content that I make that I'm just like, the stuff that I like is Jake Frew-esque, like storytelling, and like that's not terribly far from like the way that I live my life. You know what I mean? Like, I like going out and doing those things. It's just like when it comes to making videos, those ideas just aren't and maybe that's just like a limiting belief that I have, or because I'm not brainstorming in that manner, but like those ideas just like currently aren't accessible to me in my brain. Like,
well, okay, break that down for me, because I think I feel similarly, but I think I feel similarly in a different way, in that like I love his style. I think you could crush it. Like, I agree with you on that. And I think I feel similarly where I don't think I have access to those, but I think the reason I don't have access to that is that I don't, like, for whatever reason, and again, I don't know, whatever, like, you want to hide, I don't know what mask I want to put on here, but like, I don't like showing my life. I like that internet Jake is this person, right? But like, to make a Jake Frew video, you've got to tell stories about
life.
your life.
Yeah.
And that means you got to have some kind of footage around it. And I don't know why, but I do not like that.
Interesting.
That's my take. And I don't know if that's how you feel about it. It might be, because we often talk about being present. And that potentially kind of
a constant
hits that
battle.
arena.
Constant battle of like at all times, like even before we got on the call, I was at the gym and somebody was like recording a video in there, and I was just like, I could never. Not because I don't like, not, I have nothing against you recording yourself right now. It's just like,
no, I could never.
I'm just doing my thing, and I just couldn't even fathom pulling out a phone or something right now.
That's a great example. So I've been trying to work out again, and that was part of my morning routine video. And I had one shot of my workout, and that was, or maybe it was like 2 or 3, but like the first 2 were super tight. You couldn't even see me.
Yeah.
And the third one was like hella framed up so that you could hardly see me. And like, there was a lot of other shots that I was like, no, like, I don't like how this looks. I don't like this. Like, for some reason, nope, I'm not doing this. Right.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what you're saying, where it's like, it's not that I don't, like, if I see someone doing that, I'm not like, oh, fuck you or whatever. It's just like, I can't do that. I can't do that. And I don't know why.
It's not even a can't. It's just like a preference, because I don't even know, like, it just doesn't register. It doesn't fire in my brain for some reason to like,
no.
It does, but it's also, it's almost like a full circle of like, even when I'm like out to dinner and people are like, oh my gosh, gotta like, let's like capture this moment and like take pictures of our food. Like, this is incredible. I'm just like, I'm never the one that takes the phone out for some reason. Cause I'm just like, yeah, I got it right here.
Yeah. Like it's, I remember, you know,
and maybe that
good.
is because like the preference subconsciously is just this. It's like a desk. Like,
yeah.
And again, like maybe there's even something deeper here with like the preference of just speaking and like the podcast actually being very intriguing for both of us. It's like the desk setup goes very well with a like podcast. They're kind of like one and the same almost. It's like for a desk setup video, I'm just adding a screen recording to like hold your attention a little bit longer versus like now I have you to talk to, like another host to like chit chat. Like when you really break down like Peter McKinnon's videos, their desk videos, and sometimes it's just a podcast. Like it's just him talking to a camera.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, actually his video, that was one that stuck with me this week, was his, he's talking to camera, but he had a lot of out with the boys vlog footage, which again, I wouldn't do. But
oh yeah, like that.
His product whiskey photo, whatever that one. Great video. I loved it.
Supporting B-roll. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have a choice, I feel like. Well, I don't want to say that, but like that's also not him.
None of these guys that do it for their job have a choice.
Fair, but also he's also somebody that's like super charismatic and like will have a camera in public, you know?
Yeah, true. But also it's his job.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So this is interesting, right? And this is, I mean, again, this is why the podcast gravitates towards us. It's also why graphics is something that drew me because it felt like I could live life, write a script, tell the story, and then the supporting B-roll is just like graphics or something of that nature. Like
Fair.
basically using other stuff that's telling the same story, but it wasn't actually captured in camera. It's all right up here.
And
right?
you get to tell it how you want to.
Correct.
Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be an accurate retelling. Like, you can kind of do whatever you want
Yeah.
and, like, make it serious
I
or
would
goofy or
love-
whatever.
I would love to see a Spencer video where you like, I mean, I don't know if like this is exactly how you would do it, but like even if you straight up like stole the like stupid character kind of ideas that I have, but like maybe make them a little bit more your vibe and did what I just said, where it's like, hey, you have like these stories and these ideas similar to Jake, but you don't capture it in real time. So if you were to sit down with a nice nod off to the side angle, like could you make a Jake Frew video and then with your graphics skill have this nice whimsical kind of like supporting B-roll basically that you completely craft in post?
I think what I'm realizing is that, like, I actually am two different people.
Explain.
Well, I went to film school. So, like,
Yeah.
the narrative side of me to, like, say something and, like, good cinematography, like, I love that stuff. And it, like, storytelling really, like, in general hits a like a good, scratches a good itch for me. But the things that I make, like, I like just, like, I like sharing a Resolve tutorial that, like, I'm like, holy shit, that's an amazing thing. That I want to share
Yeah.
this. Or I made something that I think will save people time. Like Motion Tween that you should buy. Quick plug.
Yes.
But I think there's like a separation between the two because like in my head, I'm like, if I were to make stuff along those lines of explaining like a Jake Frew type of video, I would go out and film it. Like,
Yeah.
because that like goes into like my film school brain, not like editing brain. Like it's
Right.
There's separate buckets of just like, is this editing? Yes. Or is this like in that fits the thing. And still to this day, that's what I was talking about with the Moment guys. Is like, how do I smush them together? Like, how do I,
Yeah.
because I think that's actually where my voice is, to be like, how do I blend those two things? And then, because I think the light bulb that I had was just like, that actually, it feels like you. Like, the things that you do feels like you. It feels very genuine. And like, I think that is why people actually like gravitate in terms of like a community towards you, because they can just tell that they're just like, oh, this is actually just him. Like he's silly, goofy, and like serious, all wrapped up in this, like the way that he presents, and this is what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting like tangent, I guess.
Super interesting. And I think if you, I mean, I agree with them. If you can bridge that gap, that's amazing. That's Spencer right there. Right.
yeah.
And you're right. It kind of feels at odds because they're pretty different, but like, how could you marry that? My brain is spinning on that one.
The only thing I'm gonna say is scripting.
I mean, scripting. Imagine a video where like you're just making this motion tween thing, and then you're like, what's the narrative script that I could bake around this and like shoot it? I don't know, like use those skills. I don't know what that would be. Like, again, it feels like, but you can make a story out of anything, right? Like the making of that, or the reason you made it, like why, I mean, all of that is like very narrative.
The transitions
Potentially.
worked really well to do that. And I'm pretty proud of how those videos, not that they're crazy good videos, but I'm just proud that they weren't like
I love those videos.
like it. I'm proud that they were different. Like there's just like something to them that showed a little bit more of my personality.
Yeah.
And that there's something that like on Jake's Frew video, I'm sure my comment will pop up. I don't know if YouTube like serves your friends' comments, but you'll see that I commented like he shares his like, oh, this didn't work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I like that you didn't take this out of the video. Like you could have totally just taken that out of the video and it still would have been a great video, but you left it in, and I like that.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to like, I think that's, in my opinion, that's like the next chapter or the next like new trend, I guess, of like just getting even more raw and uncut with people that like AI won't be able to copy that when making YouTube videos. They won't be able to copy the mistakes of just like, here's what I tried and this was my happy little accident, but not quite what I was looking for. So let's get back to the real plot of it all, you know?
Yeah. Totally.
But yeah, it's a good thread that I'll definitely think about like over the winter break of just like, how could I make something narrative-ish about motion tween rather than just like, here's how to get point A to point B, everybody.
Which is good. Like those aren't bad, but like I think you're right. Like actually those transition videos are a perfect North Star where it's like I think that you can have it all and they're great, you know. How did those videos do? Not that that matters because that's what you like doing, but I'm just curious because I loved those videos.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll pop on YouTube right now. Are you going away at all?
It's not important, but
for the holidays, or just like do you visit family or anything?
Ever since the boy was born, we do Christmas here at home.
Love that for you.
Yeah, that's kind of been a hard rule just because I remember that being so fun as a kid to always be at home on Christmas. But I think we'll go visit family. I think the weekend after is kind of tentatively what we're thinking. But
okay,
what about you?
I got 5K plus. So the paper transitions got 8,000 views.
Hell yeah! What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's way good.
And then the film thing was 2,000.
That's still better than anything I've done in the last like 3 months.
Yeah, I do remember that I paid for like the promotional thing for the paper one.
Okay.
But I don't remember it being like crazy. Like, I think it took a life of it of its own. I wonder if you can see that in the.
That's sick.
Thing. I made $4.24 off that video.
Let's go. Probably made back what you paid on it.
Probably not even. I probably spent like 10 or 20 bucks or something.
10 or 20 bucks. Yeah. I can't remember. Yeah, I've done that a couple of times just to like experiment with it. And anyway.
Yeah, crazy.
I don't know. I think we've hit something here. I think that like that's Spencer. And if you can occasionally or somewhat regularly find that again, like I think that's pretty saucy potentially.
I do think like the difference, I guess and I think mine is more resistance, whereas yours seems very clear of like the life thing.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it, but I would like to curate it. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
No.
Like not fake things, but just like curate them on and like more of a story. But like things like I'm sure I could have made videos while I was working for Matt, you know? Like, and I'm sure he would have been more than happy to like assist in like a plot line here and there. If I was just like, hey dude, I need you to say this line or whatever. Like,
yeah.
And it's on me for keeping those things separate to be like, in my head, not being like, oh, I don't want to be known as like this guy, but also like, fuck it. Like if it's a good video, like,
yeah, who cares?
Like use the thing, like tell real life. Cause it gives you a lot of the things sometimes I struggle with is like the validity behind like, I edit, but like, so does other people. So what makes you different of like,
right.
You know, especially when you add a level of like selling shit. a bit.
For sure.
Because I feel
For sure.
not scared, but like nervous to be like, well, who am I to be able to like sell stuff to people? And it's just like, well, calm down. Like, it's not like this is your first day editing. Like,
Yeah. Oh, totally. Well, dude, and I mean, like, you know,
but
you and I
imposter
can
syndrome is real.
I mean, imposter syndrome is real, but also, like, I mean, half of selling shit is a little bit of, you know, what the prestige. It's a little bit of magic going on where there's some showmanship, and you're not some cookie cutter editor. You've got a lot of different angles, and that's, I mean, I think that's why people. I mean, again, I haven't seen your text pack. I don't know how saucy it is, but like, I'm going to go buy your text pack and I'm probably not going to buy anyone else's, you know, like it's a great, like people, it matters to people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like Peter McKinnon's Lutz, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. It's true.
You know, do you think I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm not I need to be careful with what I say here, but like, are they that special? Come on.
Yeah.
Everyone sells Lutz. They buy him because it's him. I bought him 10 years ago because it's him, you know?
Does he give updates on those things?
I don't even know.
I doubt
think
it.
he
No.
might-
Yeah, he would just probably do
Probably
V1, V2. You buy the new one, buy the new one.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Lutz are different like that, I feel like.
Yeah. I also remember thinking like, yep, these don't look that good, but also I was ass back then, so I didn't even know what I was doing. You know?
Yeah.
It's classic. Yeah, anyway. But all that to say, like, you are different than other editors, right? And I mean, like, you kind of like mentioned that with me. Like, I think that both of us just have a lot of thoughts and personality and these different little kind of quirks that do make that convincing. And like, I don't know. I think you've got it, dude. I think you've got it immensely.
I appreciate
Let's get
that.
to the end of the podcast where we both just talk to each other and just say, "Hey, you're amazing. You're such a good friend, and I just am so proud of all the
This
awesome
is our
stuff
deep
you
end.
do, brother."
Yeah.
The deep end. Where we just glaze each other for the next 10 minutes.
What's the
and then
opposite
call
of
it
a gripe? Yeah, the opposite of a gripe is a glaze.
a glaze? Yeah. Oh, dude.
That's incredible. To answer your question earlier, I'm going to my partner's for the next few days.
Nice.
Yeah, I have an edit session tomorrow, and then after that, we're leaving and going to London, Ontario for the next few days. Yeah.
Sweet.
And
I
then
don't even know
we're
where
back.
that is, but sweet.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours-ish from where I am.
Toronto.
Yeah, we just got a bunch of freaking snow today.
Oh,
Yeah.
lucky. Dude, down here, like, it's been like raining. Like, it doesn't feel like winter. It's honestly kind of sad.
What's the temps?
Like, it was above freezing today, and it was like 60, like on Thursday. Like, just madness.
What's-
Absolute. 60 Fahrenheit, that's like, what, 20 or 30?
What the frick?
No.
Dude, it's like 15.
Yeah.
That's
it was
warm.
It was like a fall sunny day in December. I was like, oh yeah, this is weird. Yeah.
Is that normal?
Like, I mean, it's definitely coldest in January, February down here, but like, I feel like 60 in December feels pretty like, okay, climate deniers, come talk to me now. Like, that's pretty warm for December down here. Like, I don't know. Maybe my memory is not serving me, but I don't feel like that's very common in my life.
Nice.
So,
Yeah. Frick. Yeah.
yeah.
Right on.
So I'm jealous of your snow, but I think we're going to go over to the mountains later in January, and hopefully there should be some good snow where we're headed.
Nice. Cool.
But
West Coast?
no, no, east of where I live.
Like,
Kind of like towards Montana.
okay.
Yeah.
I like
Western
pretend
Montana.
pretend that I know like the U.S. map.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, you just said a place that I was like, no clue.
Yeah, but states are different. Like, yeah, states.
Yeah, you guys just have these massive, like, they're basically states, right? They're
Yeah.
kind of like states, but they're just huge.
Yeah. All right. Where do
America's
you?
like, we have 50. Canada's like, we have 5. And we're twice as big, or I don't know, something stupid.
Where do you want to leave our pod viewers? Everyone have happy holidays and whatever you celebrate,
Yeah.
or even if you don't celebrate anything, I hope you have time to just like kick it by yourself or with your family.
Yeah, I hope that everyone else slowing down, you get to slow down too a little bit, and yeah, have some good family time. And
And circle back in January.
if you've got a little spare time, go check out Motion Transitions and have some fun over the holidays and Resolve with Motion Tween.
Or if you want to hear some flaming of Resolve, just go listen to Jake's videos.
Yeah, I know.
If you're like,
trying.
I wonder what Final Cut's like, just click over to Jake's videos. You'll see.
Just go check out that. Yeah. But no, dude, and I hope same to you. Hope you have a great holiday, and gonna miss you. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get back in it in January, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I love this. I just love it. I don't know why.